Fire, what you saying?
Yes, sir. We give thanks to life, you know.
Serious thing. We are here again, Ballhead and the Dread podcast. Give thanks to everyone been tuning in from those times. And do remember all about Chant Down Baltimore, June 25th. Time is near. I think it's all like 20 something days until the show. So make sure you are there live on stage. The one Freddie McGregor, Ibamar, the Dread himself. Enough people see the Reggae reason, but they never see him work yet on the stage. So make sure you're there.
Reality,
Legend Jerry Harris, Ancient Prophet there with the Nyabingi Sounds. Carroll Park benefit concert, free to enter, but you have to bring in a donation. The link there is in the description. Click the link to see what type of things are needed to come. If you're not in the area, I know you know somebody in the DC, Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, all Philly too who come down. Make sure you tell them, make sure you pass through. Definitely it'll be a vibe. Also remember Generation Gap, Riddim, tunes from the one, Muda Baruka, Autarchii, Luton Fire, the Young Warrior there, Imaru Tafari, link there in the description, same way. Make sure you stream, watch the video, share, vibe, listen to the dub. Make sure you support the thing. My Bridging EP also in the description there. Disrupting the status quo. I saw some visuals recently for Many Rivers, so I take it they'll be coming out soon. So make sure you tune into that one. Fire, what we're reasoning about today?
Why terror strike again in America, you know? So really have to assess this another shooting, another terrorist attack, boy, in Texas. After we just reason about one, so after break down the one again same way and reason with the people and talk about some key factors or overstand a take place fire, because it's not a normal thing. We live in some dangerous time fire.
No, serious thing, because when I heard this one fire, my eyes full of eye water, to tell you the truth, because the thing it's kind of crazy in a sense when you talk about kids and just kind of envisioning the fear and terror that they had dealing with this foolishness, you know. And I've been looking through this, man, and it's just like I know it's a lot of things being said about the event, and hopefully within reason we could kind of iron out certain things. The first thing I want to speak about though is bullying, right? Bullying and people's response to bullying. People have been bullying people since beginning of time. You get what I'm saying? And it seems that with this modern generation, that fire they can't deal with criticism. Well, this what this not generation? What generation is? I get confused with the generation. Fire. What's the name of this generation right here?
Them said Gen Z.
Gen Z, right? So millennials and Gen Z can't deal with criticism, constructive criticism. It's just a characteristic of the generation, right? I was fortunate growing up in the house where people didn't have no filter. They just said whatever. And also through sports, you know, you learn to kind of filter out what people say. Some things are just anger or pointless, and other things there's actually truth in it, and you would take it and try to work on it. But right now, we do live in a society where you can't say anything to anyone. You can't speak about anyone's shortcomings. You can't correct anything, because if it is, it's just this great big thing. Now, in regards to these little kids now, some of these kids mean fire. Let's just put that out there, right? Kids have always been mean, but I think that through the lack of social interaction, people aren't gaining the skills to deal with certain things. And also, I don't know. I think it needs to be more like there has to be accountability at a certain level with some of this bullying with the parents, right? Because some of these kids are just evil, yo. Like I've seen it firsthand. Like I've seen some of these kids operate fire, and there's a lot going on. And adults don't do a good job of addressing it, especially when it's in front of adults. I know it can happen when it's not in front of the adult, but when it's in front of the adult, I notice adults don't address it because a lot of the parents themselves are just mean fire, you know, and they just pumping out some mean little wicked children. But on the other token, though, with that existing, that's not going to change. There does need to be more education in regards to or showing kids tactics how to deal with bullying, how to have a different perspective of it, how not to internalize it, and also when the bullying is taking place on social media, just don't go on social media. It's like you're going on there to look at people carrying on with you, and it doesn't make sense to me. It's not being insensitive, but it really, in regards to a tactic, if people are on a platform saying these things towards you, why are you constantly going on there and looking at it? It's like, like self-inflicting hurt or something. But Fire, that's why I wanted to clarify the bullying, because I know people say the Breaking was bullied, but I don't see, like, we used to hike on each other all the time and say crazy. That is bullying in a sense, right? You have a certain type of clothing. Parents can't afford a certain type of shoe at the time. People make all these comments. You live in a certain way, or your parents, and that's just how we grew up, and that's how we dealt with each other. And reflection, so people say it was pretty harsh and crazy, but you just know how to deal with it. It's either like you're gonna give something back. It may get to the point where you do get frustrated and throw a little hands, but if ain't nobody shooting up people, ain't shooting up innocent people like that. This thing done gone array. Like, in it, that's the whole vibe. Is just like, Fire, what type of meditation you on? Even if you plot and murder, probably everybody been to a situation where they feel they want, take things to a certain level, and in all reality, transparency. Everybody want to use the word transparency, right? Well, Fire, when a man meds is killing innocent people now, yeah. So that's straight mental illness at that point. I don't know where the innocent, if I don't mean talk out the thing, but
No, at the key point that die does reach still, when they say, come here, listen, die, man. The key point is the mental illness portion. So, cause it's like the youth them get ultra sensitive now. As I say, we're not defend no farmer wrongs, We have to make sure so we assess a situation. And me not feel like say the youth them know in a this day and age prepared for assess a situation, because one, them exposed to a lot of different type of things, some extremely violent behaviors, as I say, from them parents, from the culture at large, a very violent culture at large. And then the things them where them use now as a particular type of escape. Remember saying them use things like video games for them escape, with some violent video games to where both have some man head, plus on top of all of these things, negative consumptions where them have access to, and how them internalize things, and plus the insensitivity, plus the sensitivity, that now is like create a boiling point now, and at this now it come to the mental illness. Because if you really check society right now, even act with them youth to carry out, is an action of even the generations before them, but it's just that them now don't have the thought process for really think about things and come back to that calm level that quickly, because as I said, them so sensitive and so much different things thrown at them now, then them just start for react. So it's a reaction when mixed with a form of mental illness. And when it comes to pressure now being applied, it's like them say pressure both spike, as them used to say when I grew up. And it seems like that really take place now. And it's a very sad situation. And I want particular thing I want to let this highlight, You see how vulnerable a public school is. Public schools are extremely vulnerable, This highlight that very much.
Any public work where you're dealing with the public, because I don't think people, I'm in education, right? And I think people don't understand that, like, dealing with the public and private sector is two different things. Because remember, you may have an a-hole employee at your job where they may have some little behaviors, some little quirky behaviors, or little aggressive behaviors, but at least there was a filtering process for that person to get that job. And they at least been in a system with some type of consistency to go to school or come to work. Public school and public arenas like your post office, your bus drivers, this is just straight public. Like, this is anyone. And the way the laws are structured, obviously you can't keep anybody out. So, but there's the security there is definitely lacking. I just want to say in this city here, right? In defense of the city before, people already don't want to hear this, but I just want to say this. From what I understand, there's only 16,000 people in that city, right? It's outside of San Antonio. And in a small town like that, whatever you want to call it, I don't think they're used to these type of events. So the police officers who were there, this is probably I don't know if it's the first time they dealt with violence, or especially of this magnitude. And I know all these police forces, they get the funding, so they like some little mini military, right? And they have all these tankers and all this equipment. But when the pressure, when the pressure come, Fire, or when the event come, it seems like they break down, right? And I just want to throw that out there in regards to the criticism that they receive. We're gonna get into the criticism, but I just want to make people sure. I'm not sure. This is not no big city fight. It's not like Philadelphia or New York where things pop off every single day, right? And I know you sign up for certain things, but at the same time, you need repetition. So in military, you go out there in combat, and even in military, if a man really be truthful, a lot of people just pass out, freeze up, crap on themselves, throw up, because the practice versus actually being on the field is the average person, no matter how when they're talking big up themselves, they're not really into conflict and they can't deal with that type of pressure, you know. But I just want to throw that out there in regards to the size of the city, right? And the next thing I want to touch on is on a different side now, right? Uh Recently this dude, the senator, John, I guess is Cornyn or whatever, right? And he was defending the whole response situation and saying the criticism that they were saying is unfair. And I want to flip it now because I was giving them a little defense, but it's not unfair, right? Because you did sign up for a job. You get what I'm saying? And it's like the whole response was just wrong. I've done the training I did it twice. I did one, I was taking this thing Krav Maga, right? So it's like Israeli combat, but they did a active shooter training there, and I have to do the active training shooter in the school, and nothing says to sit there. There's nothing in the training in the text in the physical. You have to go through the physical process, right? They tell you what to do if act. No one's telling you to sit there with no active shooter. No one is telling you to sit as a sitting duck. And from the police standpoint, from what I read and what I understand, you're actually supposed to walk past an injured person to dispose of, or I don't know, kill the active shooter or like take that person down. So if I come in a building and this person's on the floor shot or this person's in distress, I am not supposed to deal with that based on the training. You're supposed to bypass them and isolate the shooter. So that's the part that where it's all wrong in regards to they did not follow protocol. So when you don't follow protocol and usual things, you should be held accountable and there should be consequences, especially when lives are lost. Now, I think people, if I got the timestamp here because I'm so vexed, I ain't really the thing was so, I'm telling you, like I really teared up because I was just thinking about the parents like this crazy. Check it. The Brazier went in there at 11:21, right? No, never mind. He texted at 11:21. He went into school. They have him on camera at 11:33 entering the school, right? Fire. They got officers that say the officers in the school at 11:35. So he did fire a shot. They said officers got hit. I don't know if they putting this out later, fire to kind of justify things. I don't know if somebody got hit because I don't know, but the school, that's the next wicked thing. At 11:43, the school put on Facebook talking about everything safe in building. Schools need to stop lying to the parents too, fire. They good for that, yeah. Lying to the parents. They say everything's safe. It's active shooter in the area. They never said the school and everything's safe.
Tell you this, fair. I'll tell you this plain and straight. Let me tell you what go on now. You see, as them said, the population around 85% Latino people seen. And then you see the reason why no police no go there so in the school and do them job where them supposed to do, because to them no important people no go there. I'm gonna tell you that straight. If the school did have students who were students of or were children of high profile people, that situation would have been quelled minutes after that start. But towards the system, nobody were important pitting to go at that school. So them not put the effort they behind that. Them the police fail the people, you know.
Fire,
Again, you know.
fire, I like that because
Yeah, man.
I like how you brought up the economics aspect of it and the importance of it and not the race thing. Because it's very true. If this was elite school, fire school shut down way and cleared out. I'm glad you brought up that point.
And it's a thing where we say over and over again in a fire. I know all me know say, because all right, even if them not used to them thing the regular as but they are saying, you see, protocol is a thing where excuse me, You now have to be a professional for know certain basic protocol. All right, so the police them look like some, not even a boys brigade. Police them not even look like a boys brigade. Them look like them want that for happen. I tell you that. So to how them a move, them no look, and parents, them and them end up, I use them force. Again, it show a next side of the police again too, because within this country, because the police now turn for them power towards something where you have to really consider it. We see them attack now for the parents, them we are trying going there for get for them youth directly. So if if you tell me, say, okay, leave it to the law. It's like how them I tell you this situation again. Leave it to the law, but yet still when you leave it to the law don't care about your interest, because your interest towards the law is not something where boost them capitalist economy as quickly as they would want it. And that they not tell the people them, because they see them end up the police end up them force towards the parents them. Those parents who just earshot take place want to help them youth, and them I tell us, oh, police did move in fast, but I lie them I tell, and then end up have to come tell you the truth. The police never do nothing, because them first them say one angle where I see, then somebody show you the next side of the school, and at the next side of the school, police are harass the parents them. Let's go to show you for you say the system designed in a particular way where everybody is not this equal business where them want to tell about, oh, we're all equal within the system. No, that's impossible, because if we did equal within the system, we would have get better treatment from the system. And when we can see the system actually help we as a people to a certain extent. And me is not a one for go blame the system for say, oh, the system make we down the way there. But we are telling about what really take place. It show again the importance, who is important. And it, because I remember children, they may fire them defenseless practically, them defenseless to regular beaten, much less towards a man with a youth with a rifle. No, and in a normal situation, that fire is a dreadful day. I tell that.
Dread and terrible fire. And I just want to bring up 3 points, right? One, people need to come to reality with the purpose of police. I think that's what's the frustration that's coming in. I saw it recently in South Africa, where they were having some riots, and the people in it was a more affluent area, but they created their own militia. Right, so you have they have police there fighting that, but they created their own militia because they realized that these people weren't protecting them to protect their own property. So I think we're asking too much for police because that is not their purpose from origin and now. It's really kind of police like a little militia, a state sponsored mini army militia to protect property, particular wealthy private property and government property. Not necessarily like the average man or, Also, this event shows like how people view schools. I heard the door was unlocked, no security, even the response, even the teachers. That whole is just a disregard for the entire education system and who's a part of it. We see it all the time, how teachers are paid, how they're treated, but this is just like the height of it. No urgency. And the wild part, this is shit. That's the coldest part, fight. Like this is straight up children fight. It's not like a college, university, or office, but it's just straight up children. I don't want to go down the conspiracy road because it looked like they escorted the man in there, truth be told. I guess the 2 officers that ran in there, if he did pop off on him, I don't know, because you know how the stories now, when certain criticism comes, the story changes, try to save face. All of a sudden, officers are shot. I don't know if officers were shot or not. I don't know what was done, right? I'm just thinking like dealing with nerves and everything and using a firearm. Was he that skilled to pop off at officers while being in the room with the children and, accurately shoot them? And there's a lot of questions I have. It has to be a level of accuracy, a level of training to do that. So if he just bought a firearm a week ago, right? I'm not sure if this man was training 24/7, but like, how accurate was he? I can understand killing defensive kids, but a officer going in there, I'm not sure. I don't know. That's a question I have. What's the third thing I wanted to touch on? Fire losing my ends. We had the disregard for the school. Oh, yeah, this whole I just want to jump. I just want to jump back to the policy, right? Um, yo, something has to be done here in regards to legal action, extreme legal action, because lives are lost. Like this has to be a serious case here, a serious situation, because you have a police force that really failed the entire community. The 16,000 people there in that little city in Texas, and it's just like the basic policy states that they should have been in there. I don't know if it was an idea thinking out they didn't want to have a shootout with the kids. I don't know what's going on. Because if the three people went in there
Them
initially,
nah no excuse, man, because I full of the day fire. If in an environment like that, you have to react as quick as possible. Active shoot amongst children
well,
fire.
hold on, I ain't finished. I was gonna tell you why it didn't make no sense. Because three people went in there initially, right? Three people went in there. They never spoke about them being shot and dragged out or someone went to get them. So like what happened to the three mystery officers? That's the part I don't understand. And like I don't have the full story for you. They sent out bits and pieces, but if three people went in there and three people got shot, I don't think anyone died. What's the odds of that, right? And like, did they just sit there? Why didn't they bleed out within an hour? Who got them out? Why didn't more people go in? And also, as you spoke about earlier, the aggression towards the parents. Now that's disturbing. That's very disturbing. The aggression towards the parents when they're in that type of situation is just like, if I don't know what's going on, that's all I can say. I don't know what's going on. Um, I don't know. I don't know if the COVID, everybody breaking. I know these things happen too. It's not like these things never happen. I'm not sure about this age. I know once time in China, one man killed a bunch of kids in the school. But there has to be more support, more education. We have to change this whole sensitivity thing, fire. That's the thing. Like kind of, we don't need to be insensitive, but people need a little stronger, thicker skin. Cause the skin come like it's transparent right now. Everything somebody say to somebody is just mental illness, they depressed and all this. And not to discount depression and not to say disregard people really dealing with depression and anxiety, but it's like a buzzword. And a lot of people are using it who don't have anxiety and don't have depression. It's like a attention vibe. It is what it is. And we need to get off that. People need to find other more healthy lines of attention that they seeking and stop using that because they diluting the thing now. Because what's happening now, you got all these people with depression now, and the people who really have depression can't get no help because the thing overloaded with people just they depressed. As an average human being, if you always gonna have ups and downs, that don't mean you depressed, you clinically depressed. We need more resources because this how this disregard the school again, right? Not only do the cops not go in there, but the schools because if some of these schools some of these schools got one counselor for like 500 kids, yeah. And 25% of them got some serious problems going on. So how they going to into that? And the resources not there, access for actual help for well, I don't know what they mean, psychologists, psychiatrists, somebody to speak to, but it's just like something needs to be done collectively to one, uh provide harsher consequences to those who deal with bullying, especially like recording people getting beat up and all that. And also education needs to be done to give people the strength to deal with bullying. So it don't get to this point where you're so broken down and your life is over because someone says something. Because all the bullying and fight, a lot of this bullying is not physical. It's just words. So now if you get to a point in your life where people can't say something to you, like at what point can you take criticism? Because that means majority of your life you can't do nothing. Because once somebody criticizes you, you're gonna shut down. And it's like fire, the thing getting dangerous with like is like purposely done to have a soft society. Anything you say to them is like they just break down and all this. And it's like fire, you got Caribbean parents, you know how they say anything to you, yeah. You know how the thing set or being amongst certain others, right? They just say whatever to you, but you learn how to filter it and process it. Not saying it's right all the time. A lot of stuff is insensitive, but and then your life. You ain't locked up in the corner crying and you can't move on through the day because somebody said something to you. What kind of madness is that, fire? That's like saying how much people cuss the YouTube channel, cuss what we do then. a simple example then. From a man cussing thing, we supposed to be is this and that. That's that man opinion, bless his soul. Fight ain't got nothing to do with me. If it's some truth in it, I'll take it and apply it. But if it's foolishness, I just disregard it. Because what's happening is people are not going to be able to grow. Fight. That's where we lead into. Fight. We lead into a society where people can't grow because if you can't take constructive criticism, because yes, somebody may tell you something, right? And 40% may be total BS. Now let's flip it. 70% may be total BS, but 30% is something you better is an accurate assessment that you need to improve on. And the man laughing because he knows the truth.
And that's why them react though. Like, because remember, if in order for you react, you have internal, all right, when somebody bully you as an individual, in order for you react, you have to internalize something what them say and attribute it towards yourself first, And that's why it brings you so much and get you so heated, in the first place. And so people now realize say your reaction is where the person who bully you feed off of your reaction now. See, and that keep on making getting weaker and weaker because all of these anti-bully campaigns, you realize that them not have no affirmative action. None of these anti-bully advertisements or campaigns have any actions towards the people being bullied. Them I try appeal towards the bully themselves. I say, stop bullying. It's not right. And bullying can lead to severe these particular instances and cause the person who is being bullied to do this. So stop right there 1 second. If you know anything about advertisement always have a goal and it always have an aim. What is the aim of speaking to only one particular side as opposed to offering solution towards the person being bullied and teach them how to actually alter that particular situation and make a better instance of it? Because everybody deals with situation different, But if you tell a person, say, okay, you are weak, there's a predator and there's a prey, and the prey will do so many things to hurt yourself. What are you saying? It's like you tell the prey, say, right off the top, you are just this weak person and you're vulnerable towards a person that's attacking you. So it's okay to break down. It's okay to always break down and internalize things and then build up yourself from that. So where's that campaign where I speak towards a person in that situation and teach them how to develop themselves? That is a wicked thing. And then a next point I want to touch upon, which is a pivotal point, because I say a whole heap of misguided representations now in the media. I try to play off of this particular situation. I want to hold up for 1 second. Because you see this whole firearms discussion where take place now, and see, that's why we need to change these gun laws and some of these things. I want to be very, very careful. I want to say to myself, be very, very careful, because according to what I am hearing, let me make sure I state that very, very clear. According to what I am hearing, a lot of people seems like we don't want on a plan to get weaker and weaker, because a lot of people are saying, you see a situation like this, and yet still you don't want to have no form of firearms within the reach of phone itself, because you realize that most times these attacks take place. You see them take place, pan people who are defenseless and people who have the least access towards firearms, while a particular set of people have access towards firearm and continue to bear these firearms. So when you know a cry for say, oh, we need to change all of these firearm acts, what are you really saying? So you're saying that these people already have access towards these things. Them already have all of these guns.
They're not doing that.
But yet still, when this act is supposed to change, what is this act supposed to change? It make you weaker, make your access as the actual victim towards majority of these cases. Seeing you get weaker now, you can't defend yourself at all, but there's grandfather laws that's always going to protect some of these people who already have guns. So what are you thinking to yourself? Shouldn't it be the opposite way you're thinking now, that, okay, if the police even can't defend me within all of these situations, why aren't you crying for this act to change to benefit you? But it seems like you want this particular gun act and gun law to change to benefit the system even more and make you more defenseless as the person who is the victim. when you start thinking about them things very, very much. And I know that may I be very political with that particular statement today because I don't want to reveal too much. Me have to be still can't reveal too much in regards to the statement there because it's a very statement to close to I heart fire. The people them need to start thinking about that fire. It's like we always are wait for this savior. If we now wait for a savior through religion, we wait for a savior to come to a defense on earth right now. And I realize that nobody no love I people the way that even I people don't love themselves, you know, because that are due to other factors again, you know. Because we have enemy amongst ourselves. See, because every day we fight against ourselves because one man tall and one man short and the man they like red and him like blue. So mega shoot off at him. In our community every day. Then the system now have a target on our back same way. You know. I remember I get the most bullying. I would never shoot up the school leader, you know, as black people same way and as people who face the struggle too, you know. Seeing? So we have to be careful. May I conclude the part, man. So be careful how we internalize with solutions and with progress going forward. Because any solutions we want to put up towards these particular instances, make sure it is not making a weak as a people. Be careful.
Fire, I just want to say, you keep saying a key word, thinking. Fire, ain't no thinking going on. Fire is regurgitation and repeating. Ain't nobody thinking about nothing. Fire, whatever somebody said, they're not processing, they're not thinking about the whole thing. Because anybody with any sense knows that majority of these crimes are committed by, especially the mass shooting. Obviously, they got mental illness, right? But it's like they live in these states with easy access to ARs because in Jersey, I can't talk about the next place. In Jersey, from what I understand, you can literally buy unlimited assault rifles and shotguns, but for a concealed weapon like a handgun, you could buy one a month and you have to go to the police station to fill out some paperwork and all this. But certain things would have to change. It would cause more work. I don't know if they have the infrastructure and the personnel to do it, but there definitely needs to be more of a vetting process in some of these states for purchasing firearms. Because I know here, if you need like what do you call it, character, I don't know, like somebody to verify your character, you can criminal record and a bunch of other stuff, right? These states, you just walk in like Walmart and buy a shotgun. So these little backwoods states, they just need to like clear up certain things. But another aspect I want to just add on that is that in regards to crime, right? Inner cities, I'm talking about these mass shooting things. Right, these people have illegal firearms. They don't have legal firearms. How much people in America got legal firearms? So if they were the majority of people killing people, fire murders would be in the millions. Everybody got a gun. You get what I'm saying? But it's just like they present this narrative and like, if I know enough people with fire, you know how the thing go already, yo. Like people getting the altercation. Nobody ain't looking to shoot nobody. It's just more straight defense, like in the last scenario, like man. But nah, these people doing it, they sick. That's all. A lot of it is firearms. I mean, illegal firearms, especially with community-based stuff. But the reason I said all that is this is like, yo, you need to listen. Like, stop repeating stuff. That's what it comes down to. You just repeat stuff. It's a headline. You repeat it. They know you're gonna repeat it. Just spread like wildfire. Everybody's saying the same thing, and no one took time to even think about what you're saying. What are the repercussions for you? Right? How would this thing affect you? What rights are you giving away? You know, how would this benefit you in the long term? How would it benefit collectively? Is this really helping? And this is the next thing. Is that helping the problem? That's the main thing. Is it helping the problem? Will these things stop by you doing that? Because people, that's like drug. People gonna get it wherever they want it. If they want to do something, they're gonna do something. Fire, unless you just took all firearms off the country and it's just only police.
People them address everything and then address how them defend themselves.
Yeah,
like,
and that would lead to what they call it, tyranny, or whatever you want to call it. You know, in a sense that is just like, you know, we're gonna be there with whistles and bats while they're there shooting at you. But condolences, man, truly condolences to the families of this atrocity. Condolences to all families who are victims of senseless killings. Our cities are out of hand. People aren't speaking about that. The attention that this event received, other events taking place in the country should receive the same attention, because it's just like mental illness. As a brethren, you know, we want me to say his name, but always said America's a sick society, you know, because mass shooting seems to be unique to America, fam. You know, little things pop off here and there, but in regards to the consistency, even like in the last couple of weeks, right? This man in Buffalo terrorized the place, and this man coming with the kids, and it's just like the anger and rage that they have. I don't obviously, I guess they don't have access to the person. It's a temper tantrum. Like obviously, this man is sick. You know, he's a sick individual. And this one more thing before I get off, I am. We need to stop ignoring people around us with mental illness and that showing traits and disturbing behaviors. That's another thing we love to do, right? We need to figure out a way to, I don't know, we got to report them or something has to be done because always, I grew up around people that just demonstrated some disturbing behaviors and they ended up doing something terrible, right? But we have a lot of people around us with mental illness, and I think collectively, as citizens, we need to figure out a way to report these people and get them some help, but don't leave them unattended because it seems to get worse and worse than someone's hurt. Because the consistent thing here is that yes, they probably use the downplay the behavior, but obviously you're off if you're doing these things right. Everything not clicking up top. So we need to stop ignoring people demonstrating these disturbing behaviors around us. I don't know how it would look. I don't know how the process would work. We're dealing with it. That's a whole different conversation. But I'm not sure if you experienced, but I experienced that a lot where people show certain behaviors and say certain things and it's constantly ignored.
Well, so it's strange though because let's put the thing as like the thing is a epidemic and a pandemic really mixing a one when it comes to when it comes to mental illness in America still because it's almost like it's a norm still, certain behaviors become normal. So again, some people them even know what to look out for because certain things seem so normal or it might seem trendy, but yet still because it trended, them can't really report it as a mental illness, but it is actually a mental illness because certain things have become the trend now. It's like, why a man even not do it? As I say recently, just never not divert, but recently a man stick him on a finger in a lion mouth just to prove certain things and make people take picture of it and bite off him finger. So you see, you see what the society really, really come to fire and where the people them start thinking of them brain and you can connect it back to that same way. And then where you really sit down and meds America now as a country, as what they say. America is a very dangerous country and it's not normal because, but the biggest hypocrisy is that America have the most travel advisory upon countries across the world. So,
But
no, I didn't even made for laugh, yeah, but it's crazy because in a certain places, like countries like Jamaica and country, the told the man them a war, it seemed like a civil war to me still. But if you check it out, see no mass shooting a go on where 10 people, 21 people can go there the one time. But America, that does likely happen on a random day. You see me? So it crazy. So them have travel advisory out on this country, but them never internalize for them power struggle and try deal with it.
and this is a different conversation because I wanna get to the end of the reason, but it seems that America breaks down its citizens mentally, physically, and spiritually. You see it especially with people who come here from other countries and their health. And I'll say this: there's a very high rate of dementia amongst elder people. And what I've noticed personally is that personally, if I don't talk about on statistics and all this stuff, I'm talking about personally. People who came from Jamaica here but probably did a 10, 20-year stint and went back don't have dementia. Those who here for stay for the duration of time, same age people, are basically they need 24-hour care, same age. You will have people of the same age living in Jamaica by themselves. Maybe they'll need assistance with a driver or something, or some little errands, but for the most part, they'll cook for themselves, they'll clean. Some of them live by themselves. But America's culture, the stress, the pollution, the food, the energy destroys people. And I think now with social media, um, destruction of the family, isolation has really sped it up, especially for the younger generation. Because I work with teenagers, right? And when I was in high school, yeah, you may have had like a little anxiety, insecurity. Uh, I guess naturally through interacting with your peers, you had coping mechanisms. You could tell a friend something bother you, this and that. This generation doesn't have any coping mechanisms to make it long term out here, fire. They don't, because when I say everyone is depressed, fire. Everyone is depressed and everyone have this anxiety. Now I figure anxiety, and truth be told, I didn't know. I guess I had a form of anxiety till I started working in education and understood what it was. I was feeling little things, but you had coping mechanisms to deal with it. It wasn't. It was there, but I guess it wasn't. It wasn't shutting down your life. A little social anxiety. I guess everyone has that to a certain extent. But now it's like it's the norm. It's praised. It's cool. And one last thing I want to say, Fire. You see this attention? I tell you the attention. Did we do a reasoning on attention being a new currency? Did we actually do a full reasoning on that?
I don't think we do a full reason,
We
but
need
we
to do a
capture
full
most
reasoning
at
and break
now.
it. Yeah, we need to break it down because you see this, because what you're telling, Fight, you see the man, the bridge, and he said, I guess he stuck a hand in a lion's mouth, right? Because you got to figure out the man came up with this plan. I guess I'm gonna get the most attention. He's like, all right, I'm gonna put my hand in the lion's mouth. I'm gonna get a bunch of attention and this and that, and it backfired. But this yearning for attention now is stressing people out. It's just every day doing silliness for this attention, right? And it's like these things are planned, these things take time. They're stressing people out, they're messing up people's finances because, like, how much silly things can you do? Think about it. The TV show has a group of people to write the show. How much silly things can you consistently come up with? You're eventually just gonna burn yourself out, and you're doing all these type of things for what? Especially the adults. People feel a way about it. It is what it is. Like, why are you doing it? You have more productive things to do. You have more things to give the earth and give mankind, and doing silly things. Because it's all silly things, fire. The amount of things people doing is like, it's embarrassing to me for some of these adults and stuff that they doing, fire. Adults with children, fire. Well, up there in age. I don't want to say adults in mentality, but it's like the thing out of hand. And it's just every day. And this is the thing that gets me. They're not getting no bread. That's the thing. Hey, you see with the social media, everybody talking about how people getting money. Fire. Maybe some great big star with 100 million, this and that getting, but the average man not getting no money. So you're not getting no money from this, and you're putting all this time into it. So it must be the attention, fire. And I'm not talking about somebody that's giving a word sound that's beneficial to people or something.
The man, them skills still in a fire because this, if you try, it's like the man them create. How I put it now, it's like majority of human beings who yearn for attention. The more them do, it's like the far them reach, the far them goals. They say if them goal was to get that attention, every single video with them do or every single action with them carry out is like attention gone further and further and further. It's just like a little, all right, we'll put them equivalent to like a crackhead or something.
Can't get that initial high.
So them can't get the idea, so them have to continue a search and a search. And them not really overstand say this thing not getting you nowhere. So make we think about some solutions and not some little band-aid thing. Because you say until we start thinking about the solution, them, you got always have these mass shooting take place. You got always have the imbalance of power being staying in one particular hands. And then one party are going to benefit, one party not going to benefit. And then there's going to be this party where always a complain about being the victim as opposed to setting up them defense and becoming the person who you have to be the aggressor, but no, so the person when it comes to defense time, actually playing that defensive role and not just being so left in the back line. So what,
Reality Meds fan. Once again, condolences to the family out there. And so the thing said, fire. But people just listening, open your eyes and just start repeating everything, fire. Just do that this week. They always got challenges, right? Let's do not repeat headline challenges and take time and analyze something and see what people are saying. But so the thing said, fire. We get things for this reasoning still. I like this reasoning, tell you the truth, and touch on different points. I have to remind the people all about June 25th chant down Baltimore. Make sure the place ram. Make sure you're out there. full of vibes, you know. Food will be out there too, plant-based food. Special chef will be in there icing up the pot for the people. Live on stage, Autarchii will be there. The Brethren could work, so I'm not trying to hype him up because he's on the show. You go work, so you want to go see him still. You know, when he touched the stage, he had a great Derek Barnett down there with Andy Bass for his statement, man. Freddie McGregor will be there live. Reggae legend Ibomar will be there. Jerry Harris working on another special guest. We see how that works out, but I'm not going to tell you until he's locked in and secured, right? Profi will be there. If and I want to tell you this: if you've never been to a bingy or you never heard Naya Bingy drums live, you definitely don't want to miss this one because this one here it carry a spiritual experience. To tell you the truth, is a very especially from our religious people out there. It'll definitely put you on a height, so you don't want to miss that Profi there. Um, um, with the Naya Bingy sounds. Also, Generation Gap Rhythm is there. Link is in the description. Massive tunes from the one Muda Baruka, Autarchii, Luton Fire, and Imru Tafari. Video here is on the YouTube channel also. Reggae EP Disrupting the Status Quo. That's also in the description. And that's pretty much it, Fire. You know, I just in these times, Fire, just stay safe and just kind of keep your eyes moving because I can't find. I saw one man the other day with one black coat in the heat, right? So I'm just sitting there staring at the man, seeing what's going on and checking the program, because I don't know what's going on. I don't know why you wearing a long black coat in the heat.
Sometimes a man want all the heat, man. I'm gonna feel cold in himself,
But
man.
I don't know. What they have? What they have? Anemic or something?
Yeah, sometimes, I tell you, I said every action I see people are doing these days, sometimes it could have some form of that thing connected to it. It's just
I was
like
preying
him
it.
alone, no,
I ain't gonna lie. If I was preying it, I ain't gonna lie. I was just making sure, checking the movements and all that because
right.
the thing's set right now. So, Fire, give thanks for everyone been supporting
Yes,
the thing from
right.
those times till now.